We've spent enough time learning about white people. We've read your white school books. We've been to your racist white schools. We've seen your racist white teachers who teach us that black people are not humans by indoctrinating white biology and telling us that the monkeys are all coming from Africa. We've undergone this doctrine enough. We've received enough N-word threats from your white peers to where your system has no plausible action or any way or any means possible to solve the problem. Not because you can't, but because you will not. I'm convinced you have beyond enough wealth, particularly within the westernized countries, to set up adequate programs to assist the equality that you propose. But there still remains that racial barrier to where many white people, more than a few, have convinced themselves and have convinced their masses that black people are not capable of reaching their levels of supremacy. And because they believe this, they scrutinize black people in their schools. And the sad reality is the black people who are scrutinized in these schools can't even resort to a home to tell these stories, given that the parents have such little to no to void knowledge relating to the circumstances and the pressures that black people face within these white institutions. The reality that you may find is that your inability to actually keep up with the circumstances of the real world is what makes your educational system so weak. I can already tell you your educational system is racist because the textbooks you use date back to a time when black people were not considered citizens or held under human rights. And instead of moving past these textbooks, you indoctrinate the same philosophy these supremacists use into the minds of your remaining white masses. And somehow you have been able to convince yourselves that you are on every ground possible better than the black man. And because you convince yourselves, when a black man steps into your schools, you somehow have felt a threat or an insecurity to the point where you must prove yourself even further, as anybody full of pride or supremacy would do. You need to vent out your proof by dehumanizing the black people, by putting them under disrespectful conditions, by isolating the black people. And it only gets worse should you report such an instance to the system, who will gladly just write in their notebook like they're drawing a butterfly, not understanding the detrimental consequence and the impact racism has had on many black households. And when you have such a situation where you have promised or convinced your educational system through the white textbooks and through the white teachers that white is the only way of living, you then and there have a serious degree of a problem to when a noble black person steps into your system, because they will not tolerate such a one-dimensional belief. And life moves on when you actually focus on the fact that not everything, your whole education does not revolve around what you've learned in school. I agree that school is absolutely important, but when you realize the impact that your own experience has on you, your own connection with your family and your own connection with your health and your safety, you realize you're actually equipped to deal with some of these pressing circumstances. And you become convinced that there will never be a better time to stand your ground and fight against this system than the moments that we currently have in time to attack the devil, as it still remains a threat to many other people, black people, who are starving to get their education and to receive information that has not been taught to them by white racists, but rather to indoctrinate a sense of blackness and identity and firm ground. It is through these circumstances that you will realize how truthfully your life becomes adequate in the response to the white system, which was never made for the black people and was never catered for the black people. And because of this, black people feel a need to conform, to confide, to bring a sense of integration with a group of people who make it blatantly obvious that they have no interest in moving in with the black masses as a whole.